is surely one of the most hated people in the United States, but he seems to still be welcomed and even defended in some Hollywood circles. Earlier this week, Weinstein was invited to an event called Actors Hour that was taking place in Lower Manhattan at the Downtime Bar. Kelly Bachman, one of the comedians scheduled to perform at the event, was shocked and horrified to see Weinstein in the audience upon her arrival. To her surprise, no one else seemed to think it was a big deal, or at the very least, none of them had the courage to say anything about it. The Mind Unleashed reports that when Bachman was on stage, she called Weinstein out as the elephant in the room and compared him to the fictional character Freddy Krueger. At that point, some of the audience members began to boo at the comedian. In a video, one person, who Bachman identified as the MC of the event, can be heard yelling at her to shut up. Bachman then said, quote, "This kills at group therapy for rape survivors," and revealed that she herself was a survivor of rape. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The new Netflix Gas lets users instantly inhale multiple seasons of TV shows. An area man is worried the nation's healthcare debate might be getting political, and a bullied 8th grader incorrectly thought classmates would leave him alone during a field trip to the 9/11 memorial. Don't mistake my kind, gentle tone for one of love or support. This is the Onion Week in Review. According to a report released this Tuesday, no one, absolutely no one, will ever stack up to your 8th grade boyfriend, Brian Bowden, who you dated for 6 weeks in middle school. A 43-page study from Stanford University confirmed that no other guy in your life will ever be as kind or caring as the 13-year-old who held your hand during the scary parts of Jurassic Park, who had that really cool chain wallet, and who bought you 2 pink carnations on Valentine's Day. The report added that while your current boyfriend does have a lot going for him, he will certainly never cut class with you to listen to the dead Kennedy's Frankenchrist on a Sony Discman. Brian used to do that with you. He used to do it all the time.
This is the Onion News Network.
It's Free Talk Live. You are welcome to join us here on the radio waves. Our number for you is 855-450-FREE. The live Saturday edition of the show. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Captain Kickass.
And we may be joined by nobody here in a short bit. I'm not sure. He said he was coming.
Nobody may join us.
But he's not here yet. So we'll find out. Open phones, as always. You can bring up whatever you want. Coming up here tonight, Captain Kickass, you had a story that I saw the headline of, and I definitely thought we ought to talk about that. And that is that there's a proposal apparently to force Netflix and other media streaming companies to include emergency alert system notices.
Yeah, you know how like your cell phone provider gives you, the Amber Alerts or, that kind of a thing? Yeah.
Or what you hear on the broadcast radio or television where they break in over top of the content.
This is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
Correct, that stuff. So, and you got to be careful when you do that, when you imitate the test, because they get mad if it sounds too much like the actual test. So we'll get into that when we get the chance. Also, coming up here tonight, we can talk about Tulsi Gabbard. There's some crazy news, of course, out of Venezuela. There's a lot to talk about, but of course, you can bring up whatever is on your mind. And our toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE. That's
like freedom.
Yep, like freedom. 855-450-3733, or call us on our Discord call-in line rooms. It sounds way better, and if you sound better, you might get to be on longer because, well, you sound better.
Love the audio quality.
Just more pleasant that way. So you can do that over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Captain Kickass here as we jump right into the news. Captain Kickass, you had a story about Bed Bath & Beyond, and he has arrived. Nobody joining us now here in our beautiful studios on a let me turn your mic on a beautiful fall day here in lovely Keene, New Hampshire. Welcome.
We're glad to have nobody here.
Ah, yes.
It's always good to have nobody.
Nobody's happy to be here. Nobody's been looking forward to this all day.
Well, we were just about to get into the lead story here tonight, which is about black-o'-lanterns. Captain Kickass, you've got a story about that.
Yeah, so this is from actually the place where I resided last prior to moving to Keene. Seattle, Washington, Cairo 7 News is the website reporting this, but it's Nyack, New York. Bed Bath & Beyond has pulled some of its jack-o'-lanterns after getting complaints that they resemble blackface, according to one local report. News 12 reported community members in Nyack, New York noticed...
I had to ask you if this was like The Onion or something. But...
I know, I thought myself...
It's hard to tell
when I read it
anymore.
I'm like,
the Onion gets a lot more news right than a lot of the mainstream news media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like sometimes they'll do a thing and then it'll occur because they did it like as satire, but then it actually
becomes
happens.
real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so apparently community members noticed that 3 jack-o'-lanterns outside the offices of Phoenix, Nugent, and McCartney attorneys at law in New York. The pumpkins were painted black and had faces on them drawn in chalk.
Wait, what?
Yeah, 2 days later, the local news station reported that jack-o'-lanterns were removed. So they bought black jack-o'-lanterns at Bed Bath & Beyond, and then they used white chalk to draw the triangle eyes or whatever, right, and the mouth on it. And like a jack-o'-lantern, I'm assuming at this point.
Hold on. I missed one important part. What was it they brought? They bought a black... Whoa, I'm sorry.
So,
maybe I wasn't paying enough attention.
So some folks at this law firm purchased black pumpkins.
Black pumpkins.
Right.
Okay, but like plastic?
I think they might be the plastic ones, so they're calling them jack-o'-lanterns. Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so they're black. And so instead of like, if it were an orange pumpkin, you'd use black ink to draw.
Right.
They used white chalk.
So you can see it.
To draw the eyes, to contrast. So at any rate, 2 days later, the local news reported the jack-o'-lanterns were removed.
From Bed Bath & Beyond? From the attorney's office?
The attorney's office, right. They bought them for their Christmas decoration in the office.
Halloween.
Halloween, probably.
Christmas. Yeah, Halloween.
Right.
Thanks, man.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Soon enough, though.
It's all the advertisements that got me jumping ahead, right? I'm like, oh, it's almost Halloween, time for Christmas.
That's how it goes. They usually start putting. I worked in retail for a number of years down in Florida at the big Kmart. That they would always start putting Christmas stuff out even before Halloween.
Yeah, and that's insane.
The rule used to be it went out after Halloween, and then it just started going out before. So it was the lawyers who took them down from their own offices. It wasn't Bed Bath & Beyond who stopped selling the product.
That's what it appeers to be so far. I haven't read this entire article prior to broadcast.
I almost never do. I almost never do either. I know that's funny. The funny thing
about
you don't
want to spoil the surprise.
Well, that's true, and also, I do other things. The funny thing about talk show hosts is they always brag about how I've been here for hours prepping my show. I do hours of show prep for every hour that I'm on the air. I don't know if you've ever heard talk show hosts brag about how prepped up they are. And it's like, I barely even look. I'll look at the title, maybe look at the first paragraph.
Ian isn't preppy.
No, definitely not.
Oh, he's not preppy.
Nope.
That's
sorry.
a funny. Nobody made a funny.
All right, so what else do we need to know here?
So it says, we purchased these jack-o'-lanterns from Bed Bath & Beyond specifically for the purpose of including them in our holiday display. Took them down immediately upon hearing the concerns raised. Mary Marzola, a partner at the law firm, said in a statement.
And this is New York, just to reiterate.
It is. Yeah. We are a community law firm. We work for the local community, and we have championed the cause for many people who suffered improper treatment by others. We will continue to do so.
We wouldn't
See, if they'd left them at their original color, they would have claimed they were racist Trump supporters anyway.
Because they're orange, right?
You can't be putting orange things out.
That's fantastic. The NAACP regional director, Wilbur Aldridge, said the issue was with the color of the paint, not the color of the pumpkin. I could care less about the black pumpkins, he told the Journal News. Whenever you take a black pumpkin and put white paint for the eyes and the mouth, that's called blackface. That's the objection. Many black people find blackface offensive. I don't know how people don't realize people are going to be offended by blackface.
Wow.
Well, pretty much whatever you do, people are going to be offended.
Yeah.
Well, and also like... I mean, is he reading a little bit too much into a Halloween decoration?
My God, yes.
You know?
Nobody sane would think that white chalk on a black pumpkin resembles blackface. Blackface is something that was used back in like the 20s or 30s, or they were early television productions would have a white person put black makeup on and represent themselves as a black character in whatever the production was. And some people took offense to this, and in a lot of cases they were very stereotypical representations.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
not
the
very
performances generally were playing up stereotypes, and they were racist performances, but that doesn't mean that painting anything in the world black suddenly becomes racist.
Right.
No. And so what they're suggesting here is that the white paint somehow represents the white of their eyes that they couldn't quite get the blackface onto. That's where the white was on blackface, because the idea behind blackface, you're supposed to put it all over your face, right?
I
far as I
don't know. You'd have to ask Justin Trudeau.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
And like, we still see that in films and TV shows today, where like an obviously not Native American person plays a Native American character, that kind of a thing.
Oh, and
right?
people get offended by that. They get offended if you don't have somebody who's actually whatever that line of descendants playing the character.
Yeah. It's called acting, because you get to pretend.
But yet it's funny, and it is funny, when like Dave Chappelle plays white characters, right? So
Dave Chappelle's hilarious.
Dave Chappelle is hilarious, with or without whiteface.
When he does like the dorky white guy, kind of voice, and he nails it. And it's hilarious.
He's definitely one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
Top 5 for sure.
But here you've got some attorneys. Somebody complained to them, and to support their community, they're getting rid of their pumpkins.
Well, right. Wow. And up until now, we've only heard about the law office, which, apparently people complained about.
Yeah.
But it goes on to say a representative for Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, I want to get to that. Hold on. We'll see what they have to say in just a moment.
For station identification.
The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I mean, is there anybody out there who actually takes this seriously? Who are these people who are complaining about this? I mean, it's a surreal, ridiculous story that really is a sign of the times. This is real stuff here, real news. 855-450-FREE. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad, and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggosuds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggosud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggosuds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
We turn to Washington, D.C., where America's roommates are holding a rally as part of their new One Vote Doesn't Matter political action campaign. The rally, which drew thousands of roommates, ranging from the guy who keeps all of his groceries in his room to the guy whose name the lease is under, is just a part of a surging grassroots movement to spread the message that one person's vote can't make a difference if you really, really think about it.
You know, this is like the most important election of our lifetime. We just want to get the word out that it's already been decided in some smoke-filled boardroom. You know, I pretty much minored in poli-sci, so I think I get this stuff.
Joining us now is Jason Copeland at a rally in the nation's capital. Jason, how would you describe the energy there?
Yeah, hi, Andrea. I'd say it's a definite chill vibe. I just saw the roommate whose only friend seems to be his younger brother and the guy who just has an air mattress in his room passing out flyers together. Now, the roommates do make some interesting points. The Electoral College it is weird.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want here and take control of the airwaves. Toll free. Coming up, will you soon be seeing those annoying government warnings, the EAS alerts, as they're called in the radio business, in the television business, where, you know, they interrupt whatever it is you're watching to inform you that there's a thunderstorm or a tornado or a missing child or, you know, whatever. Are those going to start popping up in the middle of your Netflix viewing experience?
Your Amazon.
So we're going to get into that on the way here, but to continue with the Blackface pumpkin allegations, we'll get into that as well. With you tonight, it's Ian. Nobody. Oh, sorry, nobody. I keep screwing that one up.
Man, nobody's got power.
It's almost like nobody's here, or nobody's not here, or
it's true.
Both. Or
well, the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
The captain is here.
Yes, indeed. And also coming up here, I guess.
Where's Tennille?
In April.
I'll tell you about it later.
I want to make sure you know about the Liberty Con, which is happening in Washington, D.C. And no, that's not where the politicians con you out of your liberty. It's actually a convention.
Well, actually, Washington, D.C. is where they con you out of your liberty.
But at Liberty Con, there will actually be apparently more than 70 pro-freedom organizations that'll be there, and you can network with them for possible career advancement or business and internship opportunities. Of course, there's going to be speakers, including John Mackey, who you may know as the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder. He'll be speaking on what he calls conscious capitalism. Vernon Smith, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics, will be speaking about alternative markets. Miriam Issa, who's a pop culture expert and political commentator with over 300 million YouTube views, she'll be speaking. Plus Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who spent 21 years as a risk taker before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. And there's so much more than that. Go to libertycon.com to learn more about the event. Use code FTL. You'll save $10 on your registration there at libertycon.com. And yes, student travel scholarships are available and discount rooms for everyone at the Marriott Marquis. So we will look forward to seeing you there. As I understand it, Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the event. So
nice.
Yeah, Mark and I were driving down to D.C. I hate going to D.C., but it should be a fun event. So I'm looking
the District of Criminals.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. libertycon.com, code FTL for the $10 off. So, Captain, you were telling us that an attorney or a law firm in New York somewhere decided they were going to go buy some black pumpkins. Now, it's not clear if they're plastic pumpkins or actual...
Yeah, it doesn't say in the article.
I mean, do pumpkins come in black? Is that a thing?
I saw pictures in one article, and it looked like they were orange pumpkins painted black.
Painted black, okay.
I wonder if they use like some food coloring or dye or something like at the end of their growth process to make them change color. I don't know. Genetic engineering.
So they bought these pumpkins.
It looked more like paint.
And they wanted to decorate their attorneys' offices with these pumpkins. And in order to jack-o'-lanternize them without cutting into them, they just simply painted on the pumpkins with white, or not paint, but white chalk, apparently was what they used.
I'm assuming school board chalk.
And somebody got mad about this. And so the law firm apologized, took them down. The NAACP got involved and commented that they believed that this was blackface. The NAACP comment was just bewildered as to how anyone could not realize that using chalk on a black pumpkin is akin to blackface and therefore will offend people. That's
the gist of it.
It's crazy, but let's go on. Is there more to the story?
There's a bit more, yeah. News 12 reported that Marzola and her associate at the firm wondered why the decorations didn't raise eyebrows at Bed Bath & Beyond, where they were purchased. A representative for Bed Bath & Beyond told USA Today the pumpkins in question, were only available online. They've been removed from the store.
Oh, my God.
A similar black pumpkin is still available on the site and can be personalized with letters, but not faces, apparently.
Wow.
This is a sensitive area, though unintentional. We apologize for any offense caused, the representative said. We immediately removed the item for sale.
Unbelievable.
I guess that's about the end of it there.
I'm looking at pictures here. I don't know if this is an actual photo of what happened in New York, but there are a couple of pumpkins that look like real. They do appear to be real pumpkins, and they're painted black with some white, not lettering, but white facial features.
Isn't that a Stone song? I see a pumpkin and I want to paint it black.
There is a song about that.
They don't use the word pumpkin.
No, they don't.
That's the parody artist in me manifesting on.
No, I can't remember what it is now. I see a what, and I want it painted black.
A red door.
A red door. Yeah, I think you might be right there.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I'm not convinced here that this is in any way, resembling blackface at all.
I just feel like this is a bunch of people. Whoever complained about it in the first place, get a life. Yeah,
God.
And then everybody's reaction to it is just overreacting. Like, instead of telling that person, hey, you're overreacting a little bit, don't you?
Chill
think?
out.
But
here, have some candy. Go away.
Never let an opportunity go wasted to get yourself some press, I guess, right? You know what I mean? The law firm got some press.
The law firm did get press, yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond got some press, right? So watch out for that Beyond section. It's a little crazy.
I mean, would it also be offensive if the pumpkin was yellow? Would that be offensive to Asians?
Right.
If you paint the pumpkin red, does that offend Indians? Native Americans or whatever. It's just
you could paint it white, but then it would probably offend everybody because
well, that's all the colors,
it's white,
right? All right, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free line. I don't think it can get much more ridiculous, but it sure will. We don't know how.
I've seen this in Halloween decorations. At least I think I do, for most of my life, where they'll mix in some, different colored, pumpkins or whatever, the little squashes and stuff like that for the Thanksgiving time. You know what I mean?
Or the what do you call it? Where you put the candy in the. When you walk around with the candy.
Yeah, the trick-or-treat buckets.
The bucket, thank you. I was not getting the word for that.
I've seen those black with
I've
the
seen
white,
them black,
with the
yeah,
white
exactly.
triangles, I don't know, years ago.
It
right?
looks distinctive because it's not a orange color. It's a black bucket. It stands out. It's different. Yeah. There's nothing offensive about it. It's actually attractive because it's different. But welcome to the world that we live in. In 2019.
I'm outraged about stuff that doesn't matter.
People just love to be outraged about things. The toll-free number, if you want to join the show, 855-450-FREE. What if you're watching your Netflix, Because a lot of people watch Netflix, right? This is a pretty big thing. I think they've got like 100 million subscribers. I don't know if that's
Do people
global.
actually watch it, or do you just invite people over for Netflix and chill and then have sex with them?
Yeah, I've heard that that's what happens with Netflix and chill. So I don't know. Somebody's probably watching Netflix at some point. I don't subscribe to it. I've got the old DVD Blu-ray version of Netflix. I do have Netflix, but I watch like one DVD or Blu-ray every 3 months. It just kind of sits there. They love customers like me because I don't actually use the service, but I still keep paying them.
No, I canceled mine.
I love BitTorrent. That's all I need.
For sure.
I did have to subscribe to Netflix to watch the Black Mirror Bandersnatch episode, which was the Choose Your Own Adventure episode. And if you haven't seen it, highly recommend. Kickass approves.
Get ready. If you're not watching it on Blu-ray, they're going to start, they possibly may be interrupting your programming with emergency alert system notices from the government. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are also welcome. You can join us here on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best name. Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, 401(b), or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their investment accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Badavi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. no water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. So hop on into one of those, and then you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight, you've got Ian here.
Nobody. And Captain Kickass.
We are talking about something that is not going to be fun for a lot of people that use online video streaming services such as Netflix, or I guess Disney's coming out with one now called Disney Plus.
Right, CBS has got one. All Access is theirs.
There's a bunch of these things. Of course, Hulu. I mean, this is the new thing. People are cutting the cord. We've reported over the years here on Free Talk Live about how many people are just leaving the old cable subscription services. Because why would
cord cutters?
Yeah, cord cutters. Yeah. Exactly. Why would you want to pay $100 a month for a bunch of channels you probably aren't interested in watching?
No, I'm an early cord cutter over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut the cord in I guess 2005 when I left Florida.
I cut mine when I left my parents' house. I never had it as an adult living on my own.
I mean, to be fair, in order for me to have internet, I have to have a cord. But that's all that I have. I just have internet.
Right.
When I want to watch a program, from a television network or a streaming service, I
go find it.
I acquire the file online. I get it commercial free. I watch it whenever the heck I want to. It's pretty
and they
cool.
can't break into it, even if they try.
No, they can't.
Although sooner or later they'll try to do this to your computer.
Just if you're
require
internet
you
connected.
to have an app that pops up whenever they want to send you an alert.
And isn't this how it starts, right? So somewhere where the government has no method of meddling or no, supposed authority to meddle in anything, right? They step in one little thing and acquire just a little hint of control. And then before you know it, they're like, oh, well, we already have, authority here to do this. Let's do some more stuff.
Yep.
Right? And then
people accept it.
It's like there's an old Arab story or Middle Eastern story. I don't know if it comes from Arabs. I heard it from an Armenian, but about the camel. A man sleeping in a tent, and he's got a camel sleeping out, who's sleeping outside the tent, and the camel says, "Oh, it's cold out here. Can't I just put my nose in the tent?" And the guy says, "Yeah, you can put your nose in the tent." And then the camel says, well, can't I just put my head in the tent? Okay, you can put your head in the tent. And of course you can see where this is going, that by the end of the story, the camel's in the tent and the man's outside. Yep. And the camel of government is taking up most of the tent these days.
It's okay. It'll
there
just be the
isn't
tip.
much left.
Just the tip.
Left. Yeah, just the tip, they say. And I saw a great political cartoon today. It was this huge, cruise ship, all adorned in American flags, just monster ship. And then there's a man down on a raft. Labeled taxpayer, and it's just a starving man on a raft, and the man in the big boat is saying, "Thank God we found you. We need a tow."
Where did you see that one? Was it on Facebook or some kind of social media site? Sorry.
Maybe it's in the meme room in the Discord channel.
Yeah, it's I know where it is. I posted it to I posted it today, so I will send a copy. There should be a place. There should be a Telegram group for libertarian memes.
There is one. It's called Discord. We've got a meme channel there.
Okay,
you ought to check it out.
So it's not a Telegram group; it's a Discord
Discord,
group. But well, groovy. I like Discord. You can tip me on Discord.
Yes, you can over at discord.lrn.fm. Yeah, there's always stuff in that memes channel. By the way, it is a not safe for work memes channel. In fact, there you are. Nobody. There's some nobody memes.
No, I've been memed.
People have been posting.
I'm pretty
there.
sure you've been in that channel.
You mean talking in the channel,
yeah,
or just
or posting? Or
you may be right. I'm half blind, and so a lot of times, and I don't use Discord a lot, the truth be told, and so a lot of times when I'm on Discord, I don't know where I am or what I'm doing.
Nice.
So yeah, I may well be subscribed to that channel.
That's me in regular life.
Yeah. Well, I got some of that going on in life too, but.
Yeah, we added a memes channel several months ago by popular demand. People wanted a place to put memes, and so now they have it.
Oh, groovy.
I've been doing this thing where I lurk on the Discord because I've got my self set to appear away or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So whenever I post something, it literally comes out of nowhere. People,
there he is.
Captain Kickass is around.
I wish there was a self-hosted Discord.
Yeah, sadly there's not. I mean, maybe there's something that's trying to ape it that we don't know about. If there is, let us know. We'd be happy to hear about it because Discord isn't perfect. It is a centrally managed service by a corporation. So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if it gets big enough, the government will come and ruin it.
Sure.
And the only way around that is to have it distributed because they can't sue. They can sue the one guy who owns all the servers. That's one lawsuit. But if everybody's hosting their own Discord for their own friends or their own polycentric system for their own friends, they can't sue everybody.
Yeah, it'd be sweet if Discord would open up their source code and let people install it on their own servers, but that's not happening yet. So here's the story from Gizmodo.com. Captain Kickass, you had brought this one in. I also thought we got to talk about it, and that's about the streaming services. Netflix, Disney, Spotify may be required to issue emergency alerts from the U.S. government if U.S. lawmakers have their way. TV and radio stations operating in the United States are required by law to issue emergency warnings. And anybody that's ever listened or watched radio or television, you know how annoying these things are.
I don't understand.
Oh, they're loud. I've had them wake me up in the middle of the night.
Oh, they are for sure. I don't understand how they can even say they're going to try and do this because at least my current understanding is that because television and radio at some point were declared a public utility, right? That's why government is able to sort of have this overriding control over it and issue these, emergency messages, write the laws that say, okay, you all have to do this because we regulate the air, right? But streaming services themselves can't be a utility, right? Maybe the cable that runs into your house can be a utility.
Why not? I mean, public money didn't build the TV stations and public money didn't build the radio stations. They just stole that. See, there's two methods. All socialism says that the people must own the means of production. Okay, and so now the first place that this goes wrong is what started out as the people inevitably becomes the government. Okay, which claims to be the people,
but they're actually the elites.
But it's actually the elites, and it's an expression of the elites. And so then there's two means of ownership of the means of production. There's the fascist means, which is to leave it in supposedly private hands, maintain the oligarchy, but then have them required to basically do whatever the government says. So it's owned and controlled by the government.
That's what we have
and then
today.
More or less leased out to an oligarch. Right. Then you have the truly communist member method by which the oligarchs are actually government employees. But they're still oligarchs. They're still living lives of luxury while everybody else is starving. So it's just two means of achieving the same end.
Which is total control.
And that is, it's been said that the way of infamy is to tell two lies and get people arguing over which one is true. And that's
where we are.
Pretty much the Democratic and Republican parties in a nutshell.
That sums it up. We're going to continue, though, because what are they proposing? And according to what I'm seeing here, this has already passed the Senate. It was introduced a couple of years ago or a year or two ago. More coming up here in moments. Maybe there's a new version of it that's
First
in this
I've
year.
heard of it.
It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. There's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart: a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally, and it's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. Get ready. The politicians may be coming to a Netflix stream near you.
Oh, they probably are.
If they get their way, and they probably will. With you tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Also, I want to make sure that you know about Freedom's Phoenix. It's a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, then freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, and government overspending, as well as the rise of the police state. Freedom's with an S, phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. As we continue with the story from Gizmodo, reporting that streaming services, which of course seems like the primary way these days that certainly people under the age of 60 are getting their entertainment. A lot of people are cutting the cord. They're getting away from cable television. I think some people are still going to the movie theaters. Those haven't quite died off quite yet, but
they're dying though.
Yeah, slowly they are. They're getting desperate. They're not. I mean, they're still doing all right. The Marvel movies have been doing very, very well, for instance. So there's still something that the movie theater has that the average person can't recreate at home easily.
It's the experience.
Yeah, you can't get the big screen easily, although nowadays certainly larger screens are cheaper than they've ever been. You can go into Walmart and easily walk away with a 60-inch flat screen television for probably less than $500 these days.
Home theaters just in general are big business as far as like the hobby of it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody buys a house and they have, a big spare room or a basement or something, and they turn it into a quote home theater, unquote.
And you'll never go back.
They get the theater seats, they get the surround sound installed,
right?
Recessed into the walls.
If you're a big theater fanatic, like if you're a movie fanatic, think about the money that you've spent on, all those tickets. Probably that would make a pretty sweet home theater if you could have saved it up and then did your own thing. And it's more affordable now than it's ever been.
And the thing is, if you're doing that and you're getting your input from BitTorrent, and I stress that because to me, the mainstream media, the theater system, HBO, and ABC, NBC, they're all part of the system of control. Okay? And one of the things that we have to stop doing is giving our money to the system of control.
But shouldn't you support things that you enjoy? I mean, if you like a movie series,
I'll tell you what, things have changed. I can send a PayPal directly to the artists that I appreciate.
That's a fact.
You could, in theory, as long as those artists are willing to accept direct. If they're under a record label contract, they're not going to be able to accept that.
Well, they can if it's not quid pro quo. You're just sending a donation to help their cause,
from the perspective,
whatever their cause is.
From the perspective of a guy who spent some time in doing music and stuff like that.
You spent 20 years in metal bands,
playing heavy metal bands in Seattle, Washington. And, we put out CDs and MP3s and all that stuff, but I could tell you for a fact, nobody pays for the music. What they pay for is the T-shirts, right? Bands nowadays have become glorified merch companies. They make the music, but the music is their loss leader, right?
To bring them to the concert.
To get them to buy their T-shirts, the stickers.
For the experience.
Whatever else they're selling, right? Some of these bands have, like, their own coffins and stuff like that, right? So, like, you can
But
go
how does
as far
that
as you
translate to a Hollywood movie? I
mean,
mean,
you asked the question about, like, shouldn't you support a thing if you enjoy it? Well, I know from, having supported bands that I like that the best way to support them is through merch.
Sure.
So the same thing goes for me with television and movies, right? If I like a movie or a television show, I bought a T-shirt from the TV show The Expanse that I was telling you guys about last week.
Sci-fi show that you like.
And so I spent my money on that. That's something that they get, a cut of. It's part of their merch, right? So I have supported them, even though I've never paid by watching commercials when it was broadcast.
And see, my thinking is, if you buy the product at retail, okay, most of
We're talking about like a DVD or
Blu-ray
if you
buy
a
DVD, if you buy your Netflix, if you buy cable TV, however you buy your media, 90% of it is going to go to a conglomerate. Not to the people who created it, to the people who own the lawyers to enforce the copyrights. Okay? To the people who are going to war with you to shut down BitTorrent, by the people who make their money through intellectual property, which is theft.
Yeah, I'm against intellectual property. Right
and that's as a musician.
Yeah, as a musician.
And I appreciate that. As a computer programmer, people say, my money depends on, or, when I was working professionally, people would say, my money depends on copyright. And I would say, no, my money doesn't depend on copyright, because I write software for a company that pays me to write software because they want unique software that does exactly what they need. Nobody but them needs or has use for this software, because this software is a description of a business model, and nobody else in the world is using an identical business model.
Yeah. And name me another industry where, or another method prior to governments, like where folks would perpetually get paid for a thing that they did one time.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody should. That's just an absurdity.
And it also it stifles innovation too, right?
Exactly, because you see these suits where it's like you get sued because you made a song and like 3 notes were the same as 3 notes from some other song
60
some other
years ago.
idiot made, and it's like, well, I don't want to have to memorize the entire catalog of music of history in order to write a song. And as we get more and more music, as more and more music is produced, the world will become more and more littered. It will become a minefield where nobody can successfully write anything
without being sued,
without stepping on an intellectual mine.
And so therefore there goes the creativity, there goes new creations.
And I highly recommend, there's a TED Talk. It's out there on YouTube, though if you can find it somewhere else, please do. It's called Copyright is Brain Damage. And basically it likens the human race to a mind. Okay, where each human is a neuron, and culture is the mind or the thought of this collective brain. Copyright then would be brain damage to that networked brain,
because it's blocking ideas.
It's thoughts that you can't think. It's thoughts that you can't share. Neurons you can't fire that way because somebody claimed ownership of that thought.
Not just that, but not just ownership, because you can claim ownership of anything you want.
Ownership is the right to exclude others, and you have no right to exclude others from the truth.
Well, the only way you can deal with that in this is to bring the government gang in and have them use violence on your behalf to enforce your ownership. Otherwise, you're just claiming that you own that thing. You've got to have men with guns to do something about it. And that's what the government provides.
So, and in my area, in software, people say, well, without copyright, if everything was open source, then,
it'd be great.
Who would pay you? And the answer is, if I'm writing an open source library to interface with Bitcoin, okay? So basically, this is something that you plug into your program, and it handles like any Pays software plugin would be. Well, and you're a big corporation and you want to integrate into this project. Who's the most logical consultant for you to hire to integrate this into your stuff? The guy who wrote it, the guy who can change it at will, or the other contributors to the product who also have shown that they know and understand the library.
Sure, and all you have to do is look at what already exists and get examples of open source software making money on support. Where you get the software for free, but hey, if you want to call somebody and ask them questions about it, you got to pay for that.
Yeah. And with IP, the way it works out, no matter how...
IP is intellectual property.
Yeah, intellectual property, and especially software copyright and God forbid software patent. That's awful. But Basically, it means that it takes the power away from the guy who has the best coders, and it gives it to the guy who's got the best lawyers.
Yep.
That's how Microsoft got big. That's how these other companies got big. Not by having the best coders, by having the best lawyers.
Speaking of Microsoft, they just got a big deal with the U.S. federal government, right?
Yeah, they got the Jedi deal. I don't
millions and millions of dollars worth of, dozens of millions?
Everybody thought Amazon
What do
was
you
gonna
think
be.
they sold them? Do you think they put some back doors in as a little bonus to make that come along? I wouldn't be surprised.
We got more coming up here. Your calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Also, more on the streaming service thing. We haven't even really gotten into what their plan is, what they want to accomplish with interrupting the stuff you're just trying to enjoy. You're trying to watch, enjoy the evening, and then there's the government all over your screen.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,504, silver at $18.04, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,155. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, capping off a week of widely criticized comments from members of the Trump administration about emerging White House plans to use U.S. troops to control oil fields in northeastern Syria, Defense Secretary Mark Esper confirmed Friday that the Pentagon is working to strengthen U.S. military presence in the region. Using an acronym for the Islamic State group, Esper said during a press conference in Brussels Friday that, quote, "We are now taking serious actions to strengthen our position at Deir el-Zor to ensure that we can deny ISIS access to the oil fields," end quote. The defense secretary disclosed that such actions will include sending some kind of armored vehicles. Esper did not disclose how many U.S. troops are currently in northeast Syria, following a withdrawal of some personnel in the region due to a Turkish incursion, or how many more forces will be deployed to guard the region's oil fields. However, Newsweek reported Wednesday, citing an unnamed senior Pentagon official, that the United States is seeking, pending White House approval, to deploy half of an Army Armored Brigade combat team battalion that includes as many as 30 Abrams tanks alongside personnel to eastern Syria. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On the morning of October 24th, a parking enforcement officer in Bloomington, Indiana, noticed that all of the parking meters were spray-painted pink and green, and the coin and card slots were filled with expanding foam, making the machines inoperable. A total of 125 parking meters were destroyed in the middle of the night, and police still don't know who's responsible. They estimate it will cost roughly $5,000 to repair the damage. Unfortunately, it seems that the work of the vigilante vandals was all in vain. Parking enforcement officials have instructed Bloomington residents to instead use a smartphone app to pay for parking. The Mind Unleashed reports that officers did say they will not ticket people who park at meters and don't use the parking app, so it will be up to the drivers to decide whether or not they want to pay. Disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein is surely one of the most hated people in the United States, but he seems to still be welcomed and even defended in some Hollywood circles. Earlier this week, Weinstein was invited to an event called Actors Hour that was taking place in Lower Manhattan at the Downtime Bar. Kelly Bachman, one of the comedians scheduled to perform at the event, was shocked and horrified to see Weinstein in the audience upon her arrival. To her surprise, no one else seemed to think it was a big deal, or at the very least, none of them had the courage to say anything about it. The Mind Unleashed reports that when Bachman was on stage, she called Weinstein out as the elephant in the room and compared him to the fictional character Freddy Krueger. At that point, some of the audience members began to boo at the comedian. In a video, one person, who Bachman identified as the MC of the event, can be heard yelling at her to shut up. Bachman then said, quote, "This kills at group therapy for rape survivors," and revealed that she herself was a survivor of rape. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
An alarming new study finds that people suffering from stress-related disorders react poorly to being trapped in underwater elevators. A tired 398-month-old throws a tantrum, and a little clay thing is purchased at an arts festival. And now an eerily perfect recap of this week's news. The Catholic Church reversed its long-held stance against gay marriage this week after meeting Connecticut couple Tony and Craig. The vacationing pair dazzled the Pope and assorted clergy with their witty conversation and true loving affection for each other, leading Vatican officials to conclude that love is love and it's silly to put restrictions on it in this day and age. The Chinese people announced that they would be willing to forgive most of the United States' $1.16 trillion debt if Americans agreed to dress up in costumes and perform silly dances for them. Chinese officials encouraged U.S. citizens to wear sequined vests and prance around while slapping their big fat American tummies, promising that the more humiliating the performance, the more debt will be erased. In sports, NASCAR fans are deeply puzzled by a mysterious black family seen attending multiple races.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the live Saturday edition here. Our toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733 tonight. It's Ian.
Nobody.
Captain Kickass.
You can bring up what you want. That is the point of the program. At the very beginning of the show, we talked about the pumpkins that one law firm in New York purchased at a Bed Bath & Beyond. They were black pumpkins. They put some white chalk so they could make jack-o'-lantern-looking faces on these pumpkins, and subsequently then took them down with massive apologies because somebody got offended, claiming that it reminded them of blackface. We go to Kirby. He's on the line in Indiana, listening on YouTube. Go ahead, Kirby.
Hey, what's up, brothers?
Hey.
It absolutely does resemble blackface. I would have a small issue with it. And just let me say this. They put a felt hat with a big, wide, round brim and little curly cues hanging down on the left and right side and put it on top of that pumpkin. Everybody would call me anti-Semitic. White folks need to grow a conscience and be a little bit more sensitive.
So you're saying you buy this claim that white chalk on a black pumpkin is supposed to represent blackface?
I'm not saying it absolutely does, but I'm saying how people can view it that way, and it would be a logical
It's just good
assumption.
contrast. You know, black and white and black and yellow are the two most contrasting of colors. If you want something to pop, you have to have contrast. It's just good art.
Okay, but it might be good art, but it is extremely insensitive given the history of black people in America. I can't say that in any stronger terms. I see nobody doesn't agree with me because I see the look on his face. But
well,
that's okay.
You know, what I was actually, the truth be told, what I was thinking about
like I said, if you put a big wide felt hat on it with little curly cues, that would be reminiscent of a Hasidic Jew.
But they didn't dress it up. They just did a jack-o'-lantern face.
Well, that's without arguing art. And the truth be told, at the moment you called me out, I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, you know, you do have a right to display this thing, but knowing that it offends people, I never would. You know,
I wouldn't have even thought about it.
I wouldn't have thought about it. It wouldn't have occurred to me necessarily. But if somebody came to me and said, look, you know, I find that offensive, I would probably take it down just in the interest of not. I mean, the thing is, if your wife asks you to stop doing something, it doesn't have to be rational if you love her because you want her to be happy, right? So if you're going to love your neighbor, then if something really, you know,
but if your neighbor's
really
being an
bothers,
a-hole and your neighbor is irrational and your neighbor is never happy, that no matter what you do, you cut your grass to the height that they like, you painted your house the color that they like, you've taken the jack-o'-lanterns down that they didn't like, and they're still not happy because there's still something that they don't like about you, or there's something that they don't like about your property. How far do you go to try to make somebody else happy? You should be living your life for you.
And
yeah, but rational and reasonable. Come down
and you think it's reasonable to say
if
that those jack-o'-lanterns are blackface?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Like I said, if I put a jack-o'-lantern
right, we know what
out
you said.
there
We know what you said.
Then that would be, somebody would look at that and say, hey, man, that's anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
I just think it's unfortunate that people
we got to
can't.
be a little more sensitive as to how other people might feel about
people need to get man up. I mean, geez, get some thick skin.
I just
Take
feel
it
like
easy.
I just feel like people,
See,
look at a decoration as a decoration.
See, you look at the world from a somewhat different perspective than I do. I'm 50 years old. You're what, 36?
I'm not going to say, but yeah.
Okay. And the thing is, I was born in 1968. There was a time in my life when black people were being literally lynched in the southern United States, frequently by law enforcement.
Happens today.
And yeah, it does happen today, not with the
Happens
same
to everybody,
frequency. The difference is that today it's remarkable. Today, people actually are starting to get upset about it, and thank God.
That's what they
it's been
should be
a
getting
long
upset
time
about,
coming.
not a damn pumpkin.
Well, I agree with you there. You know, that it's, you know, I think that it can. I think that the history of racism can be used to separate us.
Sure.
You know, I think that is one of the divide and conquer tactics. And on the one hand, you know, certainly it can be used to the point of harassment, you know, and there are a place where I see that is gay couples, and I say this as a bisexual, gay couples who drive past 3 bakeries that would happily bake them a wedding cake and go and demand one from the Christian baker who doesn't want to make it.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Leave
those people alone.
I think that is the thing that the anti-PC folks should be upset about, and not necessarily a random depiction of a random piece of art. And yeah, there's a limit to how far I go. If the same neighbor keeps coming back and saying, "Oh, please change this, then eventually, you know, there comes a time when I'm going to think, okay, this guy's pulling my chain.
Or he loves telling you what to do, or whatever.
So really, what I would do probably is talk to some actual friends of mine and say, you know, does this offend you as a person? Because you happen to be of that persuasion.
There's so many things to be offended about. I mean, part of the reason that I like to do this show is because, you know, I'm offended by many things. And one of those is that the disproportionate quantity of people in the prisons in the United States are of darker skin color.
Right.
Yeah.
And that offends me. And that's why I, you know, do things like this show and some other activism in my life.
Those are things people should be talking about.
But like a Halloween decoration, I'm sorry, I can't.
This is in the same, to me, it's in the same category as the people that get upset about what they call cultural appropriation. Some people, have you heard about this, Kirby, where some people will get upset if you, as a black man, and I know this because you've told us before when you've called previously, if you put on an American Indian outfit, if you put on a big feather, and you're carrying around a totem pole or whatever it is that you want to adorn yourself with, a peace pipe, and you put on some face paint and you do an American Indian costume for your Halloween, which is what Halloween used to be all about, was putting on things you normally wouldn't put on to look different than you would normally look, to adopt some of the looks from other cultures or whatever. People get offended by this, Kirby. Are you offended by so-called cultural appropriation?
Yeah, to a point.
Why? Why can't it just be fun?
I don't. Here, let me put it like this.
Sure.
When I see people do stuff like that for Halloween or for costume parties, yeah, I absolutely do see how people can get upset by that.
But does it upset you?
Particularly in America. Does it upset me?
Yeah.
It depends on the costume. Honestly, it depends on the costume. For instance, I saw one costume where a black guy had dressed up as a slave and was letting a white guy dressed up as a slave master lead him around. Highly offensive. I would have whooped them both severely. But
were they a gay couple? I mean, what was going on there?
Gay. I don't know if they were gay or not.
It sounds kinky.
I just know that this was their idea of fun. And
maybe they just wanted to get a reaction.
Do you think that they might have done that? Is this a photograph you saw?
I don't know, but we're out of time. Kirby, thank you for the call tonight. I mean, we're not out of time completely.
I
but
mean,
just
certainly
out of time for that.
Roots portrayed the same thing, but you wouldn't call Alex Haley a racist.
Yeah.
If it was done in a tone of this was horrible, then that doesn't necessarily bother me. I mean, there should be depictions of what slavery was, so that we never do that again.
There's a lot.
But I just want to say, black or white, if you love liberty, you're my brother.
Absolutely. 855-450 free, like freedom. And we got more coming up on Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going. And I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the Balance of Nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. Nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's Antiwar.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever's on your mind here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We're talking about people getting offended by things that, they should really just let slide, or focus on things that are actually offensive, like the cops murdering innocent people, or the government goons dropping bombs on innocent people.
Or imprisoning a certain aspect of the population more than another.
Or imprisoning anyone who is a peaceful person who has not harmed anyone. That goes on all day and all night. But, some people are upset about a pumpkin. a black pumpkin with white chalk on it. Christians are upset in a lot of cases generally about Halloween. They've been protesting Halloween for years. They hate that people go out there on Devil's Night, or I guess that's the night before Halloween, right? But they go out there and, they're celebrating Satan or whatever. They've been offended about this forever. They've been opting their kids out of the government school. I don't know if you remember this when you were growing up, but when I was, in government school, they would have like a Halloween party.
Oh, yeah.
But some people wouldn't attend because it was offensive, and so they had to stay in like the office or go to the library or something like that.
It wasn't mandatory, but it seemed mandatory right at the time in school, right? Okay, everybody's got to dress up for Halloween tomorrow, right? It seemed like a mandatory thing to me. But you're right, certain people were conspicuously absent that day.
See, as a computer programmer, there's a rule of thumb that we always use in our programs, which says that your program should be liberal in the input it will accept and conservative in the output it produces. Okay? So on the one hand, if somebody throws you garbage input, you should be able to, parse it and at least survive the experience and not just crash.
Right.
But at the same time, you should be careful about what you produce because other programs might not be as carefully written. So in interfacing with the world, I would generally, if I knew that there was a certain segment of the population that wouldn't feel comfortable coming to my door if I had a six-pointed star displayed, then I might not display that. And
Is the pentagram six-pointed?
It's 5, yeah.
See, I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the six-pointed is the Star of David.
Right.
But either way, without
Hexagram,
necessarily worrying about the symbols themselves, if I knew there was
But that's just it. You've got to worry. If you're wanting to know what's going to offend people, then you have to be constantly worried about your symbols, because you don't know if the OK symbol, apparently according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, one of these groups, is now a hate symbol according to them.
Well, that's actually a funny story. That's a 4chan prank.
But before we go there,
but some people are offended.
They literally started using the OK symbol as a symbol, and then basically trolled people into getting upset about it.
They were using it as a symbol for white power or something?
Yeah, they started doing that, and then reason
I've never
they
seen that
did
once. I've never.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm familiar with some memes. I don't follow all of them, right?
Yeah.
And I know 4chan has developed a lot of them over time. But by no means am I intimately familiar, and I suspect most people aren't familiar with this. I've seen the OK.
This isn't a meme. This is a prank. This is another matter. And what they're illustrating is, yes, you can make any symbol hateful by using it in a particular context, and there's definitely some danger in that, because of course then what they do is they go back and they find anybody randomly in history doing an OK symbol and say, look, it's white supremacy. And of course it's certainly not if it predates the 4chan prank.
And I suspect in most cases it's not after the 4chan prank.
In most cases it's not.
Right. Simply because most people aren't aware of it. And if you see it in wherever it is that you see it, there's no context that would suggest, because I've seen this thing being used in a lot of places, and it always just seems to be like the old joke, I think, with the OK symbol was if you get somebody to look at it, then they lose or whatever, you get to hit them or something like that.
Is that like the whole got your nose thing, or like when somebody's like, hey, look up, and then they
that kind of thing,
slap you in the face or whatever?
Right. And so people try to kind of do something with the OK symbol where they'll put it in a place where you're not looking, and then you look at it and then they gotcha or something. I don't think that has anything to do with white supremacy, but that's the context I've seen it used in many different memes on the internet or videos or whatever, and it's like that has nothing to do with white supremacy at all.
Yeah, and normally it doesn't. They did it was actually a very interesting psychology experiment that they did, because once a symbol has been used in a new context, you then have to go. It becomes a question. anytime you use it.
Well, the swastika is a perfect example of that. I mean, doesn't that way predate the Nazi regime, going back all the way to Sanskrit or something like that?
Well, it certainly does, but at the same time, I certainly would not
start wearing it.
I wouldn't start wearing one because that's the thing. It's like I don't use the N-word under any circumstances.
Sure.
I've got friends who call me my N-word, and I call them my cracker.
Well, it would be hard to not be aware of the swastika being associated with Nazism. That one would be hard to not be aware of. But I think it's completely innocent of somebody to use an OK symbol and not be aware that somebody,
especially older people, aren't going to know that's an issue.
Right?
Is this the same thing as the black pumpkin? Right? Like, is it? Are people reading too much into?
They're definitely reading too much.
I mean, racism we know is alive and well because people keep saying, "Oh, that's racist," when it might not be.
Hold that thought, nobody. I want to go to Michael. He's on the line in Daytona Beach, listening to WNDB. Hey, Michael, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, I want to tell you, I'm
Hello?
Hello? We lose him?
Oh, man, he wanted to tell us something. Oh, there you are.
Back.
Yeah, I wanted to introduce myself.
Okay.
Anyway, I want to talk about this pumpkins. I have some friends, and I would consider myself a redneck.
Okay.
I have some friends that put a cowboy hat on their jack-o'-lantern.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's a bit racist. I
don't know what's going on with his connection. Hold on, Michael. I really want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to put you on hold. Maybe we can get you on a better cell. Maybe you're in a bad part of, signal area there in Daytona Beach. So I want to get you back on here in a moment and find out about the pumpkin with a cowboy hat on it. Does that mean that's a slave master? He's got a cowboy hat on. He's a redneck. He hates black people. I mean, are we just supposed to jump to conclusions about everything now? Simply because of some of the things that are associated with it?
I remember seeing somebody have a Halloween decoration where it was a lineup of pumpkins, and each pumpkin was decorated as a different village person.
From the band.
Village people, yeah.
Okay.
So they had, the Indian, the construction worker,
the black guy,
the doctor, the black guy, right?
Right.
And so, am I?
Was that really his role, the black guy, though?
The
gay black guy?
But I mean, are we all supposed to be offended by that?
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think people would be less offended by that. I don't know.
I want to see this now, too. I want to see this.
YMCA.
Hold on. We got more coming up here. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
There is no such thing as attention span, according to Jerry Seinfeld, who figures that people have an infinite attention span if you are entertaining them. Hey, he's kept us from channel surfing for several decades, and now he's making more millions as a Las Vegas headliner. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're looking for work. So choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Avoid redundancies such as added bonus, advance warning, end result, prior history, or personal belongings. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Just going to show that we really don't know what we're talking about. Apparently, the Village People, they're still performing today.
Really?
Doing a little bit of background on this here. And there were two black guys, at least, in the original.
Yeah, one was a
gang.
cop and one was a sailor, apparently.
Okay, so they did have another shtick, because you said the black guy, and I was like, please tell me that there wasn't a guy whose whole shtick was I'm black, and everybody else has a job. That's just bad.
Isn't the guy who played... Isn't the guy who played the Indian, like he claims to be Apache, right? I thought he was just like a tall white guy
he's
dressed up as,
I think he's
Native
mostly
American.
Puerto Rican, though.
Okay.
But anyway, we do have Michael still on the line with us here. We were talking about these pumpkins that some people found offensive in New York at an attorney's office or law firm where they had some painted black pumpkins that they'd purchased at Bed Bath & Beyond. They then put chalk to draw on the features of a jack-o'-lantern. So they didn't take the time to carve the pumpkin and put a candle in it. They just chalked it. It's faster that way.
Yeah, do you think somebody would have got upset with that if they'd have just, painted an actual pumpkin black and then carved it out and stuck a candle in it?
I don't know.
Would that also
is the
be
candle
blackface
producing
somehow?
white light, from the inside, or is it yellow light, so it's therefore okay? It's just all crazy to me. But I want to bring Michael back on the line. He dropped off. He called back. I told him we wanted to give him another chance here because he was trying to say something, but I think his cell phone was cutting out. Michael, listening in Daytona Beach, you're back on Free Talk Live.
Hey, I wanted to also say, tomorrow morning I'll be in church. I'm going to be the only white face in my girlfriend and I will be the only two white faces in that church. I've never had a problem with being racist. I was at an anniversary party this afternoon, and my girlfriend and I were the only two white people there. They heard this pumpkin thing, and most of the black people at the event, at the party, the anniversary party, were laughing at how racist the black people are that make these assertions that everything is racial.
So they
we're
got
a
it. What you're
diverse
saying is the
community.
people that you were around at this party understood that this is ridiculous coming after these pumpkins.
Exactly. But I might also tell you, some of these people at this party, and they were all black, have a rebel flag in the back of their pickup trucks. So the truth be known, I find it offensive when somebody takes my my heritage with the rebel flag of a Confederate. I take offense when they take that down, call it racist. It's not racist. It's heritage. And I take offense to it. My black friends, a lot of them, not all of them, but most of them find it offensive that the people who are racist are calling other people racist. They really are the racists themselves.
Great point, Michael. I'm glad you called back to make that. You sounded great this time. I appreciate hearing from you. Thank you. I'm sorry. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number.
Flags are an interesting thing because, like, the American flag can be seen as a symbol of revolution,
Or
and
a symbol
some
of dominance.
people see it that way, and then some people see it as a symbol of the current government.
Right.
Do you suppose what the caller was talking about, though, was just like some sort of urban camouflage? Like, I've been known to do this. Like, if you want to not get pulled over as often, put like a fire department sticker and a police sticker on the back of your car.
You think that works?
I think that it's worth trying. I can say that the one car I've ever owned that I've never gotten pulled over or a ticket in was a Chevy Citation. So, I'm dating myself here, of course, but circa, I drove a 85 Chevy Citation for a couple of years in the late 90s. And I never once got pulled over. I sped, I ran red lights, not like on purpose, but like just because I'm a little absent-minded from time to time. But like it was the only vehicle I've ever owned that I've never been pulled over in. And I think because the name of it canceled out.
Let's go to
the bad
Thomas.
juju.
He is in Daytona Beach as well, listening to WNDB out there. Go ahead, Thomas.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I just wanted to talk about a Freedom of Information Act request that I submitted. I submitted some documentation requested for anything about cannabis with regards to the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the AG of Florida.
Okay.
And they're charging us for a total to get all the documents, $22,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's the freedom to pay us for Information Act. The freedom to let us rape your wallet for the information that we may or may not give you all of.
So what are you looking to find out in all of this information? Because that sounds like if you could pay for it, that they would be supplying quite a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, it's over like 100,000 records. But there was some questioning that I had in my mind of, why are all the cannabis laws down here so just built strictly for companies?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, nobody of the little guys get cared for at all.
I've had a headline sitting here from the Tampa Bay Times for the last week or two. I haven't actually had a chance to get out on the air. Headline, for sale, 2 Florida medicinal marijuana licenses cost $95 million. If you ever thought that this was anything but just pouring money into the pockets of the politically connected.
That's so ridiculous.
All this is. It's insane.
Oh, man.
Thomas,
that's a lot of corruption right there.
Thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Good luck with your freedom of information. And if you keep banging your head up against the wall there in Florida, and if you love liberty, you really ought to make the move to New Hampshire with the freedom migration, as Captain Kickass has recently done this year. Nobody, you and I, go back for more than a decade.
What's the proper term? Emigrated? Not immigrated.
You emigrated from the place you left, and you immigrated to New Hampshire.
All right.
Yeah,
that's what I did. All right.
So get on over to move.shiresociety.com. You can learn more about the New Hampshire freedom migration that continues. It's been going on for more than a decade and a half and continues to today as we go to Olivia, listening in Arizona. She's watching on YouTube. Go ahead, Olivia.
Hey, Ian. Hey,
Hey.
Captain Kickass. Hey, nobody.
You're on the air.
I just think that this is such a Band-Aid on not actually helping anything of substance. It just feels like a really lazy projection of somebody's own racism, because nobody who's not racist would look at this and think that. It's somebody who's always looking for racist patterns. That's my opinion, and I'll tell you why. Is because, you know, like when you see those white, like the black triangles on an orange pumpkin, right, and the weird like toothy grin, you only think of like a Halloween pumpkin, whatever color it is. I've seen turquoise.
Yeah, I don't think that's a person.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Trumpkin because it's orange.
Right.
And so, it's so ridiculous to me. Blackface, if you ever look at Blackface or like Gollywog dolls, they were actually dolls that looked like they were painted in blackface. They were called Gollywog dolls.
Wow.
They have round eyes, round white eyes with a black pupil, and they have huge red like clown lips.
Oh yeah, I see that. I just looked it up.
That's not how, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to turn racism into literally two basic colors we all use versus a stylization that's been around for 200 years. I just feel like this is so far extrapolated that it's, just silly. But also I wanted to comment on cultural appropriation. I feel like that boils down to people trying to assert control because they want to, or because they feel like you don't have the reverence for something that they do. And I don't think that that's what freedom is all about.
Right. I don't have to have reverence. What if I just want to have fun? What if I just want to get dressed up and look different, look silly? There's nothing wrong with that. People need to take a chill pill. Olivia, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's what Halloween was supposed to be about, was looking different, looking scary, looking silly, having fun, and these people are just trying to ruin it. It's Free Talk Live.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have two convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Free Talk Live.
I have a license. That means you're protected. That's nonsense. Just because somebody has a license doesn't mean anything about their business acumen. It doesn't mean anything about their ability to satisfy their customers.
It essentially means that they paid the state money. And
jumped through the hoops. Yep.
And filled out some paperwork.
Exactly. And that's all that the license means. But yet it has this aura of legitimacy to it. Oh, it's a license. And they paid some money to the state, and so therefore they must be a good company. It's absurd.
And absolutely. And what it does does is it depletes the pool of people out there that would be doing business in that particular way. That just can't get up the money to get the license. They can't get up the money to get the fancy vans and all that other stuff that's involved in being a contractor or whatever. I'm thinking of plumbers right now, I guess. And different plumbing jobs require different levels of skill. When you're talking about just a regular thing, why can't you have a handyman guy come in and do it? Why does he have to be licensed?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free if you want to join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live brought to you by the Edge Wallet. You can secure your freedom by buying, selling, trading, and securely holding cryptocurrencies in your Edge Wallet. It is my favorite wallet to use. I use it more than any other. In fact, I use it seems like almost every day, if not darn close to it, once every other day or so here in Keene, where we can go out and buy things in real life with cryptocurrency. But it's
so nice to be able to do that.
It's useful online too for those of you that only do online purchasing. And if you just want to hold on to cryptos, it's also cool for that because it's super easy to get started with Edge Wallet, unlike some of the other wallets out there, which are a little more unnecessarily complex. You can hold your Bitcoin BTC, your Ethereum, various Ethereum tokens, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Monero, Ravencoin, Ripple, Stellar, and many more. And it's, of course, free to download for iOS and Android devices. Go to edge.app. You can learn more about the technology behind it, or just go right to your favorite Google or Apple App Store and search for Edge, EDGE, Edge Wallet. As we continue, we'll take more of your calls and thoughts. Whether you want to talk about the ridiculous controversy over black pumpkins in New York, or whatever happens to be on your mind. We actually still haven't gotten into the story or any of the meat of the story about this new law that may be coming out of D.C. to require Netflix and other streaming services like Spotify or Pandora or Disney Plus to start showing emergency alerts or playing emergency alerts during the programs you're trying to enjoy. We'll get into that coming up here. But first, we have Jason. He's on the line in Lincoln, Nebraska, watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Jason.
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I'm just calling to comment on cold and flu season here with the all the little things you can take. You can go to the pharmacy and buy all your, your Alka-Seltzer or your Dayquil or whatever. A lot of it's not. I don't know if it's just not. It says on the box like it's made in Spain or some other country somewhere like England or something. I'm just wondering why we can't have more of our medicine manufactured here in the United States. I just don't know what's going on, or is it just not being distributed the right way? I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we can't do that here in the U.S.
I imagine it's the same as, why can't we make a T-shirt in the U.S., right? It's just cheaper to do so overseas at this point.
Reason in a lot of cases that it is cheaper is because the government gang has imposed regulations and restrictions that inevitably drive the costs of manufacturing things up. And so if the manufacturer says, we can just open up a manufacturing facility in this other country and do it for half the price, even then factoring in the shipping, it's still cheaper. They want to bring a cheaper product to market so they can sell more of it. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And once a place has that infrastructure in place, any other business making some similar drug can just sort of contract with them to manufacture their drug as well. They've already got the infrastructure in place.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have artificial trade barriers between countries, and you do have a huge difference in wealth between those countries, then nature will balance that. Nature will cause, more job creation in the poorer countries until they catch up.
Right. The market will sort of even that out over time.
Yeah,
it's not interfered with.
If it's not interfered with. So that's the problem for developed countries as trade barriers fall. Now, to me, it's worth it because, I don't have my allegiance is to the human race, not to the not to Americans in particular.
Right.
So, to me, that's good. And the thing is, everybody gets richer under free trade.
That's right.
It's just that poorer people get richer faster.
Let's go, and thanks for the call, Jason. I appreciate the question. And, you can dig in as deep as you want and find just a morass of horrifying regulations and prohibitions.
Oh,
when
the
it comes to
medical
healthcare.
industry is ugly with bureaucracy and, oh my God, it's just insane.
Let's go to Warren, listening in New Hampshire in the Upper Valley to WNTK FM. Go ahead, Warren.
I've got this stupid problem where the local zoning board is preventing me from putting a second floor on the part of my house that doesn't have a second floor.
It sounds like something a zoning board would do, something stupid getting in the way of you doing what you think you should want to do with your own property, or at least what you think is your own property. So they're telling you can't do what you want.
What's their excuse?
Exactly.
They said so, I would imagine. But yeah, what are they specifically saying?
Well, here's the explanation. So my house is a duplex.
Mm-hmm.
It was a duplex before zoning. Zoning comes along. They zone the land under my house, single family, to match the rest of the neighborhood. So now my house is a non-conforming property. As a non-conforming property, you're only allowed to expand by 20%. I come home from Afghanistan and Iraq. I build a garage. They tell me, you're done. You've used up your 20%. I had no idea this was going on.
Wow.
Well, thank goodness you fought for the freedom of the United States, huh?
Wow.
Exactly.
That's
sorry, bro. I got nothing.
I feel
sorry,
your
man.
pain. I feel your pain. I wish I could say we could make it stop. Well, I will
stop.
tell you that
just abolish zoning.
Well,
but it's not easy.
Well, here's what I will tell you. I don't know specifically what I would be able to do as governor, but if there's any way that I could pardon your property for being a duplex in a simplex zone, I would issue that pardon because I don't believe your property did anything wrong.
Well, just to be clear, Warren may not be aware. Nobody, that's your name. You're running for governor in 2020 here in New Hampshire because we happen to be based. We happen to be based in New Hampshire, Warren. I don't know if you were new to the show or how new you are. But he's running.
No, I knew that. I knew you're down in Keene, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. So he's running.
The Keeniacs.
He's challenging the current governor Sununu in the primary, in the Republican primary, and you've pledged to so far. And you're going to come out with more as time goes on because it's early on in the campaign. But you have pledged to pardon all nonviolent drug offenders and prostitution offenders and gambling, convictions and gun, peaceful. Gun.
Yeah, I mean, possession of a firearm should not be a crime. Possession of anything shouldn't be a crime. Possession of your house shouldn't be a crime, bro.
No, nobody. I can't tell you what to say, but what you could say as a candidate is that you would absolutely sign a bill given to you by the state legislature to abolish zoning statewide. Because remember, New Hampshire.
As a matter of fact, I want to go a step further than that. What I'm going to ask the legislature for, should I be elected, is that we do an Idaho-style repeal of the entire regulatory code. We know that we've got way too much regulation, so let's start over from scratch and see if we really need any of it.
Man, do you guys remember the TV show I think HBO put out called Weeds?
Yeah, great show for a while.
Great show.
Kinda
They had a theme
cliff, though.
song that they kept doing different versions of for each
Little boxes.
season.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the word zoning, that song starts playing in my head. I'm like, little
Yeah.
boxes on the hillside, because everything's just like a cookie cutter of the same house in these subdivisions.
Well, and
it's
for
ugly,
people
man.
out there that don't know, there are actually places in the world that don't have zoning. There are towns in New Hampshire, for instance, that don't have zoning.
Grafton doesn't have zoning. I don't think Roxbury, Lemster.
Roxbury, I think,
Roxbury
definitely
does.
does.
Oh, okay.
But so there are some places, but it's not feasible to just, well, get up and move to Roxbury, get up and move to Grafton. But in New Hampshire, for those that don't know, New Hampshire is a state that is not a home rule state, which means that anything that local bureaucrats or local city councils want to do as far as creating new regulations, legally, they have to be authorized to do it by the state. So zoning exists because the state must at some level authorize the towns to have it. So all they have to do to end zoning is end it at the state level, and then no town can then have a zoning bureaucracy or zoning rules or department. Warren, what are your thoughts? Should we just abolish zoning completely?
No, I don't know about that. I mean, there's certainly some things we'd like.
See, that's your problem, my man. If you can't let go of the desire to control your neighbor, which is what zoning is, right? It's other people telling people what to do
with their own property,
with what is supposed to be their own property. You have to be able to let go of the idea that, oh my God, my neighbor might do something I don't like, in order to have the freedom to where you can do what you want with your property. Now, if you're doing something like polluting your neighbor's land, then that's another issue. That's a tort. There's a lawsuit there or something like that. But as far as they should be able to build whatever they want to, as long as it's built and it's not teetering over onto your property and causing an issue with you. So I wish you the best. Check out electnobody.com for more about our friend Nobody here. And thanks for calling in. Good luck with the zoning thugs.
Yeah, good
definitely
luck, bro.
appreciate hearing from you tonight. We got more coming up here. The toll free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The city of Houston is noteworthy as one of the largest cities in the United States that does not have zoning. Now, some of its suburbs or whatever do, so there's like areas that have it, but generally, Houston, very successful city, no zoning. It's amazing. People can live without zoning, right?
Wow,
you don't
go
need some
figure.
bureaucrat telling you what to do with your stuff. And of course, raising prices, because all the zoning rules, you got to jump through all those hoops. You're then
it raises
artificially
taxes, too, 'cause
increasing
you gotta
prices.
pay for 'em.
Yeah, more coming up. Hour 3 on the way.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,504, silver at $18.04, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,155. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, capping off a week of widely criticized comments from members of the Trump administration about emerging White House plans to use U.S. troops to control oil fields in northeastern Syria, Defense Secretary Mark Esper confirmed Friday that the Pentagon is working to strengthen U.S. military presence in the region. Using an acronym for the Islamic State group, Esper said during a press conference in Brussels Friday that, quote, "We are now taking serious actions to strengthen our position at Deir el-Zor to ensure that we can deny ISIS access to the oil fields," end quote. The Defense Secretary disclosed that such actions will include sending some kind of armored vehicles. Esper did not disclose how many U.S. troops are currently in northeast Syria, following a withdrawal of some personnel in the region due to a Turkish incursion, or how many more forces will be deployed to guard the region's oil fields. However, Newsweek reported Wednesday, citing an unnamed senior Pentagon official, that the United States is seeking, pending White House approval, to deploy half of an Army Armored Brigade Combat Team battalion that includes as many as 30 Abrams tanks alongside personnel to eastern Syria. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On the morning of October 24th, a parking enforcement officer in Bloomington, Indiana, noticed that all of the parking meters were spray-painted pink and green, and the coin and card slots were filled with expanding foam, making the machines inoperable. A total of 125 parking meters were destroyed in the middle of the night, and police still don't know who's responsible. They estimate it will cost roughly $5,000 to repair the damage. Unfortunately, it seems that the work of the vigilante vandals was all in vain. Parking enforcement officials have instructed Bloomington residents to instead use a smartphone app to pay for parking. The Mind Unleashed reports that officers did say they will not ticket people who park at meters and don't use the parking app, so it will be up to the drivers to decide whether or not they want to pay. Disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein is surely one of the most hated people in the United States, but he seems to still be welcomed and even defended in some Hollywood circles. Earlier this week, Weinstein was invited to an event called Actors Hour that was taking place in Lower Manhattan at the Downtime Bar. Kelly Bachman, one of the comedians scheduled to perform at the event, was shocked and horrified to see Weinstein in the audience upon her arrival. To her surprise, no one else seemed to think it was a big deal, or at the very least, none of them had the courage to say anything about it. The Mind Unleashed reports that when Bachman was on stage, she called Weinstein out as the elephant in the room and compared him to the fictional character Freddy Krueger. At that point, some of the audience members began to boo at the comedian. In a video, one person, who Bachman identified as the MC of the event, can be heard yelling at her to shut up. Bachman then said, quote, "This kills at group therapy for rape survivors," and revealed that she herself was a survivor of rape. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Are you a helpless moron perplexed by the world? Wish there was a device that enabled you to consult the Onion Book of Known Knowledge anytime, anywhere? Then you need the Bookbjorn, the amazing new wearable invention that makes you and the Onion Book of Known Knowledge inseparable. Never again be stumped by the panoply of bizarre objects filling your field of vision. Never take it off. Never be without it. All this for just 4 easy payments of $39.93. The Bookbjorn. The Bookbjorn. And if you call now, you'll receive the special page-turning wand. Turn pages with the greatest of ease. The special reading light to wrench knowledge from utter darkness. The book umbrella to protect the Onion Book of Known Knowledge's precious pages from the elements. Bookbjorn. This $800 value can be yours today. Send a check or money order to the Bookbjorn, care of the Zwiebel Center for Knowledge Studies, 15 Zwiebel Way, Macau, China. Do not hesitate. Buy now. The Bookbjorn.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited here if you want to join us. The third hour of our live Saturday edition. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody. And the captain.
We still have to get to this story from Gizmodo that we started, we touched on it in the second hour, and we never really got into the dirty details of what the government goons in D.C. are going to try to do to your streaming video and audio services. A lot of people, they're into Netflix, they're into Pandora, these online video and audio streaming services. Well, guess what? Now the government gang wants to be able to interrupt your programming whenever they want to tell you the things that they want to tell you. We'll tell you about that coming up here in a moment, so long as we're not interrupted, because we're on old media that they have total control over, unfortunately. By the way, I do want to let you know about Balance of Nature, because good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time is a challenge. In fact, travel and work schedules these days can get in the way more often than not, and you might have the desire, or rather not have the desire, to shop and cook the right foods for yourself. Balance of Nature can help you out with 3 of their Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules. You get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. You can go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And then after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. You can get the offer by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's balanceofnature.com, code FTL. We go to David in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
You touched on it, but didn't get down and dirty, huh?
Go on.
You know that...
Not taking that bait. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's a masturbator, isn't he?
I am, and that pumpkin controversy, that's what happens when you pump your kin, man.
Look, just for our listeners who don't know, you're referring to the first story of the show tonight, so 2 hours ago. Captain Kickass, you brought it up. It was a New York law firm. They had black pumpkins that they'd purchased from Bed Bath & Beyond. They put white chalk on it. Rather than taking the time to actually carve the pumpkin, they just chalked the pumpkin faces, with the grin and everything on them. And somebody got offended by it, saying that it resembled blackface. And so they took them down. And apparently even Bed Bath & Beyond took the product down. So the law firm took them down. Then Bed Bath & Beyond took them down.
Okay. Let me poke in here and say, you ever have...
There's another joke there too, but go ahead.
Like, if you've had girlfriends.
Yes, I have.
Okay, you ever do something that pissed your girlfriend off?
Repeatedly.
And then you kind of you walk around being really careful not to offend her for a while because you really hurt her feelings. How long would you have to walk around carefully if you'd held your girlfriend in bondage for 400 years against her will and beaten her to the point of death when she refused to obey you? It takes a little while to make up for a thing like that. And although any given living person is not guilty of slavery, I can understand the position of black people being maybe a little bit sensitive.
You mean some black people, because a caller earlier said that he's got a bunch of black friends that think this is ridiculous.
Right, and the thing is, different people take things in different ways, but I think if you put yourself in the place of somebody looking back at this is the history of my race. This has been the recent history of my race. I can understand there being some real rage that this was done to them. And the thing is, the proper targets of that rage are dead. But that doesn't make the rage go away. And I speak of this with some feeling because my father is full-blooded Armenian. Okay, and I've got vicarious rage as to against what happened to the Armenians in 1915, even though I wasn't there. The people who did it are all dead, but that doesn't mean I can necessarily. I try to, if I meet an individual Turk, I try not to hold that against them. But when I look at like the government of Turkey and the Kurds,
Get upset
I
at the
definitely
government.
look at the government of Turkey differently.
Get upset with the government. Get upset with the police and oppression and violence and actual things that are really offensive. Pumpkins? Not offensive. Not offensive.
I see.
Yeah, they have a phrase for that generational trauma, and what I had called about it, the Indians here listening to you on KENN out of Farmington, New Mexico, Four Corners. Tying into that, you were talking about ridiculous sign of the times as words that you used, and a system of control, Ian, and going back to the Indians topic and the way that ties into the system of control and ridiculous sign of the times kind of stuff is the Native Americans here in the Four Corners. They have I was telling you that singing wire program, and they all know it, and it's on the University of New Mexico radio program or radio station, which is publicly owned, paid for, and operated. And it's a 4-hour program on Sunday afternoons from noon to 4, and it's basically church. That's part of its function. And the reason I wanted to further explain this point is it ties into what you're talking about, and it clarifies what we were talking about the other day. Because Ian, I don't think you had a clear picture of what that program was. Church services are repetitive, right? It's kind of the same thing every Sunday.
Right, they have it all in the same order.
Or sometimes 3 hours every night.
Yeah, they open they got us opening hymn, they got the benediction, they got these different segments that, and then of course if you stay for a whole year of them, you'll start to have the same benedictions and such, year after year after year. So it really is the same thing. Right, and because a comment you had made, and it was a flip comment. You weren't entirely serious, and I am boring and repetitive. But you're commenting about, because I had stated that for the last 10 years I'd called into Singing Wire on this KUNM radio station, and did a shout out, which is what they do. They do a half hour, 15 minutes to a half hour of shout outs every week, and I did that for every Sunday for 10 years.
That's called an act of devotion.
Right, putting it out there to the ether, and for whatever it's worth, and then other aspects I was telling you about that program. They play contemporary Native American music, and then they'll play, your favorite, the peyote songs for the Native American church, and they'll play other powwow music, et cetera, and there's a real pattern. They try to keep some fresh new stuff coming each week, but more than half of it is the same as the previous week. You could almost play the same program over. So that's
true with every music radio station. I'd just like to point that out. Music radio in general has a very limited list of songs that they play. I think it's not uncommon, if I recall correctly. I've heard of rock stations playing 180 songs. Basically,
yeah, you'll hear the same song every 2 hours or so on certain stations, depending on the program director.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say,
generally, it's going to be unobjectionable. Yeah. It's going to be the kind of song you put on when you're looking for something to put on that nobody in the room will object to.
Yeah, it's watered down. I also wanted to say too that on the church bit, I don't know if many of the listeners know, I also do parody songs, like Weird Al, but I'm far more vulgar. Like the first parody that I ever did was in church, right? They had this hymn called.
Were you like a kid?
Yeah. Okay. They had this hymn called "They'll Know We Are Christians by Our Love," and I changed the word "love" to "breath." So it's like, they'll know we are Christians by our breath. By our breath. Yeah, exactly. I still get a kick out of that this day.
That's a good one. How old were you at that time?
Oh, maybe 8 or something. Yeah.
And now, where can people go to find your parody songs?
The Kickass Parody Project.bandcamp.com.
BANDCAMP.
Yep.
The Kickass Parody Project.
Yep.
.bandcamp.com.
All one word, all mashed together, no dashes, no spaces.
David, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. We continue with a different David. This one is David the Balloon Guy calling from Orlando. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. We're on the radio. You're on the air.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I've been having some trouble with Liberty.menu. I've been trying to register. I'm a balloon artist down here in Orlando, Florida. And
for tech support, press 7.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do tech support on the air here, but we'll see what you have to say in just a moment.
I'm not asking for tech support. I just want to know if you guys know who I can contact.
I'm pretty sure there's a support option there. I don't know exactly where it is on the site, but we know the guy who runs the thing. His name's Patrick Bender. He's a great guy. He's a libertarian. So more coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
This is not rehearsed. I'm just some person that listened to the commercial and said, you know what? Fruits and vegetables, how can I go wrong? At one point, I was going to stop taking it. And then I got a message saying that even if you stop taking it, you still have your coat for 2 months. And that's when I really realized you people aren't looking for money. You really care about the human being and helping people. So to me, that is the most important thing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Do you want to join the ultra wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise.
All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited here if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms on the line, or not on the line. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms wherein you could be on the line and sound almost like you're sitting here with us. They sound really that good. Go to discord.lrn.fm. And for our last caller who had hung up during the break, we can't get into tech support in detail here, but I did, when I went to Liberty.menu, I did scroll all the way down, look at the bottom of the page, because usually when you go to a website, either the contact option is somewhere buried in the top menu or it's at the bottom.
People do poor jobs sometimes of hiding important information you need on their website.
And in this case, there is a little email link at the very bottom that goes to admin@liberty.menu. So that should help you. Hopefully you're still listening and you're not upset that we didn't get into details.
Hope it helps, bro.
Of tech support.
We looked it up during the break just for you.
The air. But yeah, if there's ever something broken with Free Talk Live, for instance, feel free to just email me, Ian@freetalklive.com. It's always best to just do it that way rather than calling in. Not to say we don't appreciate your phone calls. We certainly do. But you got to keep the radio show to the general listening audience of the interests of those people, whoever they are.
Yeah. So it's good to know that people are out there using Liberty.menu.
Yes, I was just there today.
Like it. And one of the things that's been hard to replace from Facebook, looked at as a software suite, has been events.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so the ability to have
But it
events
needs to be replaced because the Facebook events are terrible.
Well, they are. The thing is,
you remember when you used to be able to, on Facebook, where they had the events, you used to be able to select all of your friends and invite them?
Yeah.
They got rid of that.
No, yeah, you got to do them individually, if at all. Facebook is just such a...
It's a garbage fire. Liberty.menu has events. It's for libertarians only, though. So keep in mind, if you're not a liberty-minded person, you should not be using Liberty.menu. It's only for voluntarists and libertarians. And I was actually just there today. I made an event for Forkfest. Short, unofficial, of course, because there's nothing official for Forkfest, but somebody's got to make an event, so I took care of it. And I actually did just put up a blog post at freekeen.com tonight that I've been slowly putting together over the last week, announcing the dates, which, again, not official, but Crosby, who's the owner of Rogers Campground, has, if anything's official, it's coming out of Crosby because he's the owner. He has welcomed Forkfesters back to Rogers Campground, and from June 29th through July 5th. So you talk about Liberty.menu, the guy who created it is a Forkfest attendee. He was there for the very first Forkfest, and he's been there, I believe, at every Forkfest since then. He was cooking tacos at last year's event, which were fantastic.
I can't say enough about how stoked I am that a freedom event such as this is happening on the day celebrated as Independence Day
for the first time ever.
That's
this year,
so kick-ass.
2020. So therefore, you must be there if it's Kickass.
And
Captain
I approve.
Kickass will have to be
Kickass seal of approval
for the very first time. You've never been to Rogers Campground. You've never been to Porcfest.
Oh wow, Porcfest version. See,
Pork and Fork is how I refer to them now. So it's Porkfest and then Forkfest. So it's Pork and Fork is my slang term for both.
It's funny that you should have Bandcamp as a URL, because my original name for Forkfest was Bandcamp, but it was BANNED,
right?
Yeah.
And that's because some people were banned from the Porcupine Freedom
Which
Festival.
is how Forkfest got started, right? It was the people who were banned.
One of the reasons why it got started.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, partially it's just... Porcfest feels like minarchism to me, and Forkfest feels like anarchy.
And Forkfest feels a lot like the old Porcupine Freedom Festival used to feel like.
It used to feel like anarchy, and then it started feeling like minarchy.
I've heard all about both fests, and I've seen the videos that, as many as I could anyway, and so I'm aware of sort of, about what it's about, and I'm really stoked to be there. So,
and don't get me wrong, Minarchy is still way better than Maxarchy, which is what we, totalitarianism, which is where we're going.
The Porcupine Freedom Festival this year was a great festival.
The rest of the country is going.
They did a great job with it this year.
I used Maximarchy.
Maximarchy, that's good.
So, by the way, if you do want to attend Forkfest, mark your calendar now for June 29th through July 5th. You should probably reserve your campsite or RV site or motel room sooner rather than later, because Rogers Campground, the venue, has for many years, for like decades, done Independence Day fireworks on whatever weekend is closest to Independence Day. Obviously, Independence Day moves around. It's always on the 4th, but the day of the week changes. It just so happens that it's going to fall on a Saturday on July 4th, 2020. So it's going to be just an epic buildup all week to Independence Day weekend, when Independence Day will be the final day, the final night, I guess. The final day will be the next day when everybody's packing up and leaving. But the final night, the apex, if you will, of the entire week is going to be Independence Day. It's really going to be a great 2020 Forkfest. You can go to forkfest.party. You can learn more about the event there. There's links there to the Forkfest Telegram chat room where people are talking about what they're planning to do. Because the thing with Forkfest is everybody kind of does their own thing, and then we see what develops out of that. And it's really cool. It works out.
It'd be nice on July 4th, or maybe throughout the festival, if we had some kind of a personal declaration of independence being
we have that. It's called the Shire Society Declaration.
Yeah, okay.
That's exactly what that is. It is a personal declaration of independence. It was actually originally signed at the Porcupine Freedom Festival. You know what? I think it was 2010. So it'll be the 10th anniversary, I believe, of the signing, or darn close to it, of the Shire Society Declaration, which you can read for yourself over at shiresociety.com. And the reason that the Shire Declaration was created was because we wanted to have our own society. We kept being told by these government goons that, well, you're a member of our society, so you've got to follow our rules. And like, well, wait a minute. A society is a voluntary association of individuals who've come together consensually for a common purpose. You go look it up. That's what a society is.
So many of my, we'll say statist friends can't wrap their minds around the fact that there's a difference between a government and a society. They're two completely separate entities.
That's right.
I mean, and really, I look around their society more and more, and I don't want any part of it.
That's right.
I don't want. I don't like their culture. I don't
like the wars. I don't like the imprisonment. I mean, how many people do we have to imprison before people go, oh,
that's enough?
Whoa.
Yeah.
We imprison more of our population than any other country on earth.
Even China.
And they have
the old Soviet
nerve
Union would be jealous, right? The Gulag's pale.
Free.
Yeah.
Huh?
The Gulag's pale in comparison to the amount of people the United States has in prisons right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, and the prisons that they have here are awful, partially because the prisoners aren't organized. The prisoners are organized against each other instead of being organized against the state.
But isn't that the same thing true of society on a wider scale, right? They are pitting people against one another. Here, fight over race. Here, fight over, gay people. Fight over, curriculum at school. And it's really the government that's putting people and pitting them against one another to distract them from the real enemy, which is the state.
What if you could get the Cantwells and the Malcolm X's fighting on the same side?
All right, we got more coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450 free. And again, check out forkfest.party. More coming up.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
You're listening to the best Liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in toll-free and bring up whatever you want. Our number's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I love our Discord chat because, you know, we say something on the air and then somebody goes and puts it in the chat. We didn't even have to do it. Earlier tonight, you mentioned a TED Talk video, Nobody, that you thought was really good, and somebody went and grabbed it and they put the URL in the on-air chat on our Discord server. And then just a moment ago we were talking about the Shire Society and how it was a decade. As of 2020 it'll be a decade. It was, I thought it was 2010, and I was correct, when people signed the Shire Society Declaration for the very first time at the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And H. Reardon in our chat room went and dug up the video of Taryn Lupo's video of, in low resolution. It doesn't look that great, but it's there, of dozens of people.
Just a big shout out to all of the people in the Discord chat room. I know I'm still relatively new here, but you guys are active. You guys listen to the show. It's pretty obvious, and we love you.
Yeah, and keep coming back. We should probably spend more time in the Discord.
Yeah, you're not in there right now, Captain Kickass, so they can't tip. Well, not nobody, but they can't tip you.
Am I in there?
We need
I don't know.
computers sitting here. I've been saying this for years. There should be a computer at all 3 stations, so we all have access to the net.
You've got
we
a phone.
Can look things.
Yeah.
I've got a phone.
If only there were
but,
a device.
I'm old and infirm.
The nice thing about Discord is it's on all the devices, so you can have it on your laptop, you can have it on your phone. I have it on both of them, so pretty much wherever I am, I am just a swipe away or whatever from the Discord chat. So if you want to join our Discord, you can do that. There is a cool tip bot in there that allows you to easily send tips to the host, and they can still tip you even though you're not on the server. But it's easier because when you're there, it shows you in the list of chatters, and it's just easier to remember. What's his name again? Oh, there he is.
Yeah. All right. I've just set my status to online.
Boom.
in the Discord now.
There he is.
I don't even have it on my phone.
It's not like I wasn't there.
I'm actually
and
very
been there.
conservative about what I put on my phone, but I will put Discord on there.
It's great. I'm a big fan of, especially with the tip bot. People have really been having a good time with that. Let's go to the phones here, by the way. We got Reno on the line. He's in Texas listening to KIXZ and Amarillo. Go ahead.
Reno,
you got to turn down your radio, man. You're going to get really confused if you don't turn that down real fast.
I turned it off. I was just waiting on you to answer.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just wanted to talk. I love y'all's show, man.
Thanks,
You guys are great, man, and you're just honest and putting the truth out there, and I enjoy listening to it.
Appreciate that. Go ahead.
Of course, I listen to Alex Jones, and I'm an Army vet, and I'm here in Amarillo, Texas. I got sick in the VA and nearly had my foot cut off,
God.
I had 5 surgeries on it, and I was in the hospital for 2 months and with IVs in my arm. And because I was in pain and they had me doped up to the gills on Dilaudid and morphine and stuff at times, I cussed a few times. That's all I did. And they put a behavior flag on me. Of course, this is Federal Hospital, VA, and
socialist medicine.
Huh?
It's socialist medicine is what it is. The VA.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned you can't trust them, and for any of the vets out there, go to the Buchanan report if you need help. But they've forced me to check in with the VA police every time I go to the hospital now because of my language. And I told them, I said, I've got 20 complaints with Washington, D.C., and they haven't done anything. But it's just infringing. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm serious. I'm not in that case. I didn't do anything bizarre or anything like that.
You cursed when you were upset at something, and they got mad, and they said you got to check in with the police every time you go now, huh?
Well, the main thing was I threatened to file some complaints on a couple of nurses up there, and they basically flagged me in retaliation.
Wow.
Is what they did. They used my language as an excuse. Yeah.
I'm with you on the VA being a horrible organization. I was good friends with a Vietnam veteran who got shot. They had to take out part of his innards, part of his lung. He got grazed in the head. And, at times he couldn't afford, health care and was forced to only go to the VA. And not only was I, sort of privy to how the state runs that as opposed to like what a regular hospital is run like, even though it's still highly controlled by the government, a regular hospital has far more compassion to it than the VA does. The VA is a cold and bitter place for veterans to go for health care. It sucks, and it should be abolished.
Over all the years we've been doing this show, no one has ever called in to say what a wonderful experience they had the last time they were at the VA. Almost never do you hear anything like that.
And if you do the research,
people will call in and defend other things.
Yeah, sure. If you do the research, you'll find that like the VA has all sorts of historical horror stories, like a scalpel being sewn up in a patient and then the patient allowed to leave, and then complaining of stomach pains later on, and they go to a regular hospital and they're like, oh, look at this x-ray, looks like somebody left a scalpel in there. So there's all sorts of that.
Lucky they didn't give her an MRI.
Reno, was there anything else you wanted to share? Go ahead.
Well, the thing is that I just wanted to talk about the First and Second Amendment. I mainly called about our Second Amendment. When you see Beto O'Rourke and even people like Ted Cruz, it was passed under Frank Lautenberg during the Clinton administration. And as far as I'm concerned, the whole Republicans and Democrats, whoever passed that goofy law for about taking a person's rights to bear arms away for life over a misdemeanor, and if you read it, it could be you pinch somebody or you just push. Say a guy got in an argument with his wife and he pushed her, and they take away your gun rights for life.
Yeah, I got news for everybody in the organization known as government. Rights cannot be taken away. You can pass legislation that says this person did this, and therefore we declare that they cannot own weapons. But that's not going to prevent anybody.
They can cease to recognize your rights.
They're ignoring them and
what
violating
it is.
them.
It doesn't make them. You still have.
You exist. You have the right to defend yourself. That's it. You exist. You have the right to defend yourself. Period.
But it sure does help if you're in a place where other people agree with you, right?
True.
Because if you're in a place like, I believe Texas is fairly gun friendly. I don't think it's quite as gun friendly as places like New Hampshire or Arizona. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, Texas actually has a surprising amount of gun control.
Yes, it does. Texas is not even in the top 10 of gun liberal states.
Wow. Pathetic.
My younger brother just got 2 40-year sentences. He had prior convictions, and they was going to give him life, and they scared him to death. And so he took 2 pleas on because I heard you guys mention this earlier.
He took a plea to 40 years?
For felon in possession of a firearm, 2 separate counts.
Wow.
Holy moly.
40 on one and 40 on the other, so it's 80 years.
And this was in Texas?
Yep, right here in Amarillo. Good old Amarillo.
Wow.
That's shocking. That is shocking.
It doesn't shock me. I mean, I was looking at 3.5 to 7 for having a machete.
Would it have been more if it were a gun?
Yeah, an additional 5 years mandatory.
Still, I mean, that's bad, but it ain't 40 times 2.
Well, the thing is if you got a misdemeanor domestic violence, they'll give you 10 years minimum.
My God.
That's one of those cascading laws, right? Like if you have some other infraction, then you get busted for this, they like add together and make your sentence worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be brief about it because, I mean, I'll get off the phone and listen to you guys talk, but I wish you would really do more. I mean, they have the First Amendment, of course, that's being infringed all the time. It happening to me. And if you guys would do more program on the Lautenberg Amendment, it was repealed once in 2001 or 2, I think, and then they put it back in. But it's
the best thing we can do is let you guys call in and talk about it because you guys know more than we do, and that's why we have open phones here every night on Free Talk Live. Thank you,
Reno. If you got an axe to grind, bro, call in and grind
away.
That's what we're here for, to listen to you grind your axes.
We're here 7 nights a week, so even if we're not on KIXZ there every single night, and I don't think we are, we're still here. We're still, I mean,
LRN.FM.
Weeknights, sometimes we don't get a single phone call, even though we're on a bunch of radio stations. So
if you don't get us every night, check us out on Twitch and DLive. We're out there.
That's right. FreeTalkLive.com. We got more coming up. The remaining moments are left in just a moment. It's Free Talk Live.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive. The list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio. The media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-613-2646. That's 1-800-613-2646. 1-800-613-2646.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live brought to you by local.bitcoin.com. Actually, I had a sale today on local.bitcoin.com from one of our listeners, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a longtime supporter of the program, Jaded Porcupine, came on and bought some Bitcoin.
Oh,
which was pretty cool. Or Bitcoin Cash, I guess, to be more specific, although some would argue that's more Bitcoin than the original Bitcoin, but
yeah,
it's a whole other discussion.
You know, I think the bull market will return when BCH and BTC become equal.
I think the bull market returned yesterday, if I recall correctly. It jumped up from like 7,500 to 8,500, then 9,000, then crashed past 10,000 in just the last 48 hours. It's been incredible.
Oh, is it above 10,000
It was
now?
late last night. Right now it's at around 9,200, though.
Okay,
still
so
up.
yeah, it's spiked, but
yeah, it's up quite a bit.
And currently, like, I find room for, well, all the cryptocurrencies, really, as long as they have a use case. Right?
Not all of them do, though.
And those are the ones that I don't really care about.
And the thing about Bitcoin is its use case is in its name. Okay,
well, currently,
that's the only thing that BTC has, is we call it Bitcoin. And if you look at Bitcoin Cash, it's a superior currency. The only thing that it doesn't have going for it is hash power, and hash power will come with market cap. You know, I especially with the Lightning Network is damaged. I mean, they lost
I heard that
4
went sideways.
Bitcoins yesterday. They just lost them because a guy made some user interface error. Or he closed, or no, he didn't keep his node up on the net all the time, and he ended up in a closed state. or something. I don't know. I don't mess with lightning.
Me neither.
And now
It's
we've
not
seen
attractive to me.
lightning struck once, and it struck 4 times and took a Bitcoin
Yikes.
each time it struck.
To be fair,
so
they did name
I don't
it.
want to get struck by lightning. That doesn't sound like fun to me. I prefer DMT.
To be fair, they did name it appropriately, right? Like, they warned you. It's called the Lightning Network. You know?
Yeah. Well, it struck, baby.
Local.bitcoin.com. Get on over there. You can easily trade Bitcoin Cash, or you can buy or sell it, I guess I should say. And there's dozens of payment methods that you can use. Some of them are higher risk than others, so do keep that in mind. If you're going to be selling, make sure you take I would say recommend the safer routes, but if you want to go high risk, you can. Local.bitcoin.com. Go and do your due diligence.
I just want to say that the beautiful thing about cryptocurrencies, plural, is that I am free to choose which ones I get to use.
It's true.
And nobody else can tell me which ones I can and can't use. Unlike
Wait a minute.
currency.
The federal government has said that buying the petro is illegal.
And I want a petro for just that reason.
Right.
That is from my point of view, that is the largest support on the value of the petro. Every patriotic American should get himself a petro,
but
just because it's forbidden as a keepsake.
That's how I generally feel, nobody, is when I'm told to do something, I want to do the opposite, especially if it's by the government. However, in the case of the petro, you've got two problems. If you buy the petro, you are supporting the Venezuelan government, and that's a problem. And 2, you really can't even get it anyway if you really wanted to. We've looked into it. We've tried to figure out how somebody could get a petro, and it is...
I'm not down with state
It's
coin.
a mirage.
Yeah, I'm also surprisingly not down with whatever Libra is supposed to be, the Facebook thing.
Oh, yeah. We covered that last night.
It's
It's
not
awful.
even a thing yet.
Not
and
yet,
like,
no.
Yeah.
They're already trying to regulate it.
Right.
Yeah, see, I think that Libra is an elaborate setup, quite possibly, for a heavily regulated cryptocurrency, and that all this back and forth between Facebook, which is, you have to remember, Facebook is the government's means of controlling public information, or at least one of their major means of controlling public information and public opinion. So why could this whole thing playing out between Facebook and AOC not be the introduction to an elaborately regulated cryptocurrency?
It may be, and
under
we're
the
going to keep
Facebook
our eyes
name?
on it, that's for sure. Let's get into the story we've been teasing all night here from Gizmodo. Streaming services may have emergency alert nonsense plastered over them at some point. The legislation that's being proposed is called, and you gotta love these acronyms, right? READY, the READY Act, standing for Reliable Emergency Alert Distribution Improvement Act. Has bipartisan support, is being introduced in the Senate by a Democrat and a Republican. Bipartisan group of representatives have a similar bill that's already been introduced. The legislation would also make it illegal for consumers to opt out of federal emergency alerts on their phones, and would require alerts by the U.S. President and FEMA to be repeated. Didn't hear it the first time? Well, they're going to come back at you again and again and again and again until you press some button to get rid of it.
This sounds like superior high-intensity training if you're into acronyms.
Now, this will be the killer feature for those Faraday bags. Because the only thing you'll be able to do to get through the storm of government propaganda will be to put your phone in a bag so it can't ring.
TV and radio stations, of course, are currently only required to issue an alert one time, but now they're going to be expanding that. Quote, when a missile alert went out across Hawaii last year, some people never got the message on their phone.
And it was wrong.
And the message...
Those people were spared a pointless panic.
And the message even said, this is not a drill,
Right.
right? The message was very clear. This is not a drill. Incoming missiles.
While others missed it on their televisions and radios, even though it was a false alarm, the missile alert exposed real flaws in the way people receive emergency alerts.
Yeah. It
said.
exposed the fact that the government is pumping misinformation into people's houses for no reason. It's madness.
Quote, our bill fixes a number of important problems with the system responsible for delivering emergency alerts. In a real emergency, these alerts can save lives, so we have to do everything we can to get it right.
Oh, good Lord. When you're pumping out misinformation, Don't fix the problems that it's not getting to everybody. Stop doing it.
Streaming services like Netflix weren't required to issue any kind of alert in Hawaii during that false alarm, but that's obviously something legislators would like to change. They say here there are concerns about the kind of power an increasingly authoritarian U.S. president might abuse to speak directly with the American people.
They got to get the broadside in on Trump.
Yeah, could such a system be misused by an unhinged regime to spread fear and propaganda? Of course, but Congress still has to pretend that it's passing laws in a normal world, playing by normal rules, even if our world is anything but normal at the moment. So obviously Gizmodo is editorializing a bit there.
Yeah, and very sideways editorialism. That I would call that unprofessional in the way that it's written, because they're supposed to be doing straight journalism here. And then they put in that was just a sleazy bit of insinuation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's totally okay for every other president to invade in your life and say whatever it is they want, but Trump, he's bad. We can't have that.
And when you think about it, that's probably exactly why they slipped that in, is because they do want, they want to be able to do this in 4 years.
Yeah, they're not opposing it.
Yeah. They just don't want Donald Trump to have that ability.
Yeah, and I do not want to read anything from the president ever unless I choose to. If I want to see what the president is saying, I can go to his Twitter and I can read it. Yeah. I don't want him to be able to pop into whatever it is I'm doing, or her, or whoever the president happens to be, or some bureaucrat from FEMA, because they're also saying FEMA alerts will start popping up.
That's going to be horrible.
On you now. You're in the middle of watching your favorite show, and then some government mandated alert pops in there. I'm already sick of it, and it's not even happening yet.
I don't give a hump about your president, and I don't give a hump about your war, Snake Plissken.
I love Snake Plissken.
Snake, I thought you were dead.
Call me Snake.
I thought you'd be taller.
You'd be taller, yeah.
Captain Kickass, I thought you'd be taller.
I once made a Bitcoin meme out of a Snake Plissken sketch. It was just a sketch of his head, and he had the patch on. And I took some, Photoshop type thing, and I put the Bitcoin logo, in the eye patch. And it was one of those where Bitcoin is dead, and then all of a sudden it came back and doubled or whatever. I think it was around the last halvening or whatever. And I made a meme, and it says, Bitcoin, the Snake Plissken of currencies, right? Because everybody thinks it's dead the time, right?
Well, and everybody thought it would be taller.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out Escape from New York. Probably a lot of younger listeners don't even know who Snake Plissken is. It's a great anti-hero character created by John Carpenter and
movie legend.
Yeah. The sequel was pretty good too.
Escape from L.A.
Yeah.
As far as sequels go, you couldn't have really gotten much better than that.
Yeah, it was a good remake, basically. That's all it really was.
Except now in L.A., on the other coast.
Pretty much. All right, out of time for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, you can join us over at freetalklive.com and check out electnobody.com as well. See ya.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,504, silver at $18.04, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,155. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, capping off a week of widely criticized comments from members of the Trump administration about emerging White House plans to use U.S. troops to control oil fields in northeastern Syria, Defense Secretary Mark Esper confirmed Friday that the Pentagon is working to strengthen U.S. military presence in the region. Using an acronym for the Islamic State group, Esper said during a press conference in Brussels Friday that, quote, "We are now taking serious actions to strengthen our position at Deir el-Zor to ensure that we can deny ISIS access to the oil fields," end quote. The defense secretary disclosed that such actions will include sending some kind of armored vehicles. Esper did not disclose how many U.S. troops are currently in northeast Syria, following a withdrawal of some personnel in the region due to a Turkish incursion, or how many more forces will be deployed to guard the region's oil fields. However, Newsweek reported Wednesday, citing an unnamed senior Pentagon official, that the United States is seeking, pending White House approval, to deploy half of an Army Armored Brigade combat team battalion that includes as many as 30 Abrams tanks alongside personnel to eastern Syria. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On the morning of October 24th, a parking enforcement officer in Bloomington, Indiana, noticed that all of the parking meters were spray-painted pink and green, and the coin and card slots were filled with expanding foam, making the machines inoperable. A total of 125 parking meters were destroyed in the middle of the night, and police still don't know who's responsible. They estimate it will cost roughly $5,000 to repair the damage. Unfortunately, it seems that the work of the vigilante vandals was all in vain. Parking enforcement officials have instructed Bloomington residents to instead use a smartphone app to pay for parking. The Mind Unleashed reports that officers did say they will not ticket people who park at meters and don't use the parking app, so it will be up to the drivers to decide whether or not they want to pay. Disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein is surely one of the most hated people in the United States, but he seems to still be welcomed and even defended in some Hollywood circles. Earlier this week, Weinstein was invited to an event called Actors Hour that was taking place in Lower Manhattan at the Downtime Bar. Kelly Bachman, one of the comedians scheduled to perform at the event, was shocked and horrified to see Weinstein in the audience upon her arrival. To her surprise, no one else seemed to think it was a big deal, or at the very least, none of them had the courage to say anything about it. The Mind Unleashed reports that when Bachman was on stage, she called Weinstein out as the elephant in the room and compared him to the fictional character Freddy Krueger. At that point, some of the audience members began to boo at the comedian. In a video, one person, who Bachman identified as the MC of the event, can be heard yelling at her to shut up. Bachman then said, quote, "This kills at group therapy for rape survivors," and revealed that she herself was a survivor of rape. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Facing mounting criticism that lethal injection is cruel and outdated, Ohio has replaced it with a system that quickly and humanely rips off the heads of death row inmates using powerful robotic arms. The new device is designed to be as humane as possible, emitting soothing white noise and putting prisoners on a cushioned seat before its metallic talons dig into their necks and painlessly wrench their heads off. Ohio Department of Corrections Director Gary Moore praised